here see that we can continuously do what we did with the commission's last two, and that was a mill 1.75. It's not a big deal, but the point was we had to do it twice, and we did it twice. The second time it was a 77% no vote. People here can absolutely make this difference. So that's the ask. Please just let people know. Yes, ma'am.
I'm Suzanne Phillips, and I appreciate y'all so much for making this available for us and being out here. I just wanted to give some information that I came just to see what was going on, because I am on the fence. I don't know which way, and I wanted more information. But I did also participate. The school board brought in Evergreen Solutions from Tallahassee, and what they did is they were supposed to help with strategic planning. And they did have probably 10 different meetings all over the parish where everyone was invited to come and give their input and write down how they thought the schools could improve and what the problems that we had were. I was stunned because I've only been back in Shreveport for 4 years. I expected it to be full.
Right.
There were maybe 30 people there. I was there quite a long time. I was, like I say, I was stunned when the news media came and we're going to do a little thing. We actually had to get people, like some kids running the halls, just so it looked like there were people there. There were 6 people there. So it may not be the traditional committee that the way they normally do it, but there was no public participation. Right. And the public was made, it was available. And then what they also did is they brought PTA members. I was one of the PTA members for smaller, when Evergreen came back, for smaller groups that they talked to at the school board to see what's good and what do parents need. And they had different specialty people, people who work with numbers and different things in the parish, come and give input and talk to Evergreen. Now, was that actually used? I don't know. But it was available and people did not, they didn't show up. I was just shocked that, I was shocked.
Well, just so y'all know, Lou, Denee, and Broadmoor Neighborhood Association are responsible for this turnout. I gotta tell you, in this kind of weather, as things are down here, I'm very, very pleased. Most of us know it wouldn't have been surprising for there to be almost no one here. The point is this, and several of you in here know how true this is. We've learned recently. Everything most of us here say we believe in. And we celebrate about what it takes in political action, et cetera, is right here in this room.
I want to redirect back to your presentation for one second. 2 points that I think would be amiss. That, and I promise you that I wouldn't go into the data that I have. I'm a data-driven guy too, and I'd like to share some with you, sir, about the transformational zone in some of those schools. But also, what's not being said too is we still owe $90 million from the 2004 bond. And on May the 2nd, if you had $90 million, and if this thing passes $108 million, you're going to have a bill of $198 million of capital improvement bond issues we're going to face for the next 20 years. And if we continue to lose taxpayers, property taxpayers, that means that there's a process that this parish has to go through to pay that bill. Would you explain that process quickly?
Ron, I'm a little bit lost on the process itself.
How the school board have to roll the villages forward to pay the tax?
Let me express it this way, and Rob, tell me if I missed something. We hear from the school board, the commission, city council, always, just vote for this, the taxes aren't going to go up. That is never, ever true. Never. For a simple reason. Assessments go up. Now, admittedly, ours aren't going up very well, but they go up. Who's got a house that they're paying for that the taxes are as low as they were 10 years ago? And I don't mean because villages got raised. The assessed value of property goes up. your millage is applied to that. If you had a static millage total, 180 millage, kind of like it is in our true board, if it sat right there on the books forever, you would write a bigger check. Forever. It's never true, like we're being told now, your taxes won't go up. It's just not true. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, explain how if the assessed value actually goes down or we lose taxpayers, what does the school board do?
Yeah, that's called the roll forward. Okay? What anybody can do is anytime they want to, because that raise in valuation is relatively insignificant, that local board can simply roll forward the millage. They can make sure that your bill never goes down. And they don't have to have a vote of the people. They simply roll it forward. Charlotte's nodding her head. She knows exactly how this works. Matthew knows how it works. Most bodies here now are trying not to do the roll forward. They're trying to let that extra money go by. They're proud of doing that. But they've only started doing that. And remember, roll forward or roll back, we never hear about it because it happens in a meeting from the government body, and the media's not there, so we don't know. So it's one more thing that the absence of transparency makes it easy for these claims to be made. The truth is this: no one in this parish is committed to lowering taxes. Not one body, not one government elected official. Nobody is doing that, and nobody's going to do that until they are made to do that. Yes, ma'am.
For 10 years, every time there was a roll forward, we defeated it. We worked and worked and worked, and the board defeated a roll forward in the last 2 years.
Excellent.
So they did go for it.
Yes,
They tried, and y'all fought it back.
right.
How many votes did you ever have? 7?
Oh, yeah,
About?
I think you had to have 8, 7 or 8, but it was
Good.
the
Was it
other-
contentious to get your other board members to do that?
There was about 5 or 6 of us, but it was always the last one.
I see.
That-
I got that.
But the other thing, the millage that's coming up soon that you spoke of
Yes.
is for salaries, is it not?
I don't know, because part of our sales tax, which is at 1.5% here for the schools, most places it's 2%. I'm not sure how much of the salaries are coming from the sales tax. So I just don't know.
Okay, I just know that it was rearranged the last time it came up, and I think if you're not careful, you put your salary villages in jeopardy. I'll just say it that way. I know that Charlotte and I worked at times to keep this from happening because we knew the salary was going to change if it passed this one but not the next one.
Got it.
And so people in the community may not have known that, but people like Charlotte and I and other board members know that. So you have to learn how to ask the right questions when you go to the school boards and learn how what's going on.
Got it.
They can answer your questions, but it's not good. Make sure we ask.
Anybody else? Dee, thank you for being here, brother.
Hi, I'm Justin Toms, and I actually moved here, been here 4 years now, moved here from St. Tammany Parish, which I was told the whole time I lived there I was paying the highest taxes in Louisiana.
St. Tammany is close to, they're very close to Caddo Parish.
They're close.
Interestingly enough.
Yes, the number 2 rated school system in the state at the time.
Exactly.
So apparently we were getting what we paid for.
That's right.
Allegedly.
That's exactly right.
Allegedly. I wonder, and I'm not accusing you of having this attitude.
No problem.
You live in the southeast Caddo Parish. I have family that live down there, and they're kind of on the fence on the bond issue.
Sure.
I have family, they have their kids in private school, They're the people who say, if you would have an elementary school down the street, I would send my kids to public school. I think I know what they're talking about. I'm not going to get into their attitudes of how they think about things, but you know what I'm saying.
I do.
Do you think, I think the thought is they're trying to get these people to come back to public school system.
They are.
Do you think that that's the thought process?
I'll tell you this.
Maybe they can't prove it with numbers, but that's who they're shooting for.
Thank you for asking the question. It's a great question. Let me be very blunt, and I know I'll get in a lot of trouble with this, but that's okay. It won't be the first time. People in Southeast Shreveport believe they are due that school. Why? They pay most of the taxes. And I sat in a very contentious meeting with a very, very prominent person here a few years ago with a school board member. And all this stuff was being ginned up again. And this prominent person, who is supposed to be a good government type person, but is a Southeast Shreveport person first, said point blank, Elliott, what are you going to do? You're going to stand up and tell the people who pay the most taxes that they're supposed to drive up the road to university to take their kids to school. And I said, yes. And why would you do that? Because we can't afford the school. How about that? How about you can't afford the school? Now here's the rest of the story. I get it. We got some school board members here. I'm not going to put them on the spot, and I'm not asking a question. The people in Southeast Shreveport are not being told the truth about that new school if it ever happens. They're not being told that those private school kids do not have parents that are going to want those kids in that school. They don't want those kids in a K-8 school, which it would be. And they particularly are not going to like the fact that they don't get to draw the attendance lines. You see what I'm saying? They're being told that at long last, these taxpayers parish-wide are going to give you folks the school that you always deserved. And your children will get to go to the best school in the parish, wink, wink, nod, nod. We all know what that means. It's not true. If you look at attendance lines, Charlotte knows what I'm talking about. If you look at the attendance lines that they think are going to apply, they're not. Guess why? There aren't enough public school kids to justify the school they're building. It's not going to happen. So, we can stand back and know we're about to give $24.5 million to an unknown developer with unknown contractors on an unknown piece of land, so the people in Southeast Shreveport, of whom I am one, thank you very much, will get their school that they finally wanted. So here's my answer. Truth be known, and I know the truth. If they knew the truth, they would vote no on May the 2nd. They're not being told the truth. I don't know how to tell them. I just wish they knew. But they're being sold a bill of goods much more dramatically than the rest of us. Anybody want to dispute that, by the way? I'm game if you do. Yes. Yes. Oh, Blanchard. Holy cow, get me going here. You know, well, we're going to get I-49 and it's going to open up North Caddo Parish. There's going to be a flood of people. And we're going to have our super Walmart, and we're going to have a Family Dollar store every 6 blocks, not every 3. We're going to get everything because I-49 is going north. Does anybody know how much water there is in North Caddo Parish? Potable water for all these people who move up there and build houses to get and pay for. Matthew, do y'all have the water problem figured out yet? Gotcha. That's a minor thing. There's just not any water, you know. But we're fixing to have an absolute renaissance in Caddo Parish. I'm trying to figure out where the people are coming from. Where are they going to move there from?
North Bossier? Hey, that is the only answer I've ever heard that made some sense. But I got to tell you, if they come from North Bossier, they won't have children. They're not bringing their kids to North Caddo from North Bossier. They won't have kids. That's who does it. Look, I tried to tell Bob Schiller years ago, he made a big deal out of how many subdivisions were being built in Southeast Shreveport. And I mean, I decided to go prove to the guy, you've been in Florida too much, you don't know a thing about what's going on here. But he was doing the Southeast Shreveport school deal at the time. So I got the names of the subdivisions that he was claiming. Y'all may remember his comment about y'all need to go have more babies. That was his point. In a school board meeting. It's kind of interesting. But anyway, I said, okay, here are the subdivisions, and I want to show you something from the Tiger Tract analysis in the Census Bureau, is what they used to call it, to show you how many of those families that have moved in the last 3 years have children. That was his whole case. Look at all the houses. You know how many of them had children? 8% of those households had children. But his justification for the school was all these people are moving there. It's always baloney. How do we know that? Because the out-migration has been so severe for so long and nobody moves here. We know it's a captive audience. I'll give you my email address. Tell them to email me. I'll be happy to explain it to them. And I'm going to go on the road with this thing with Superintendent Goree if he'll do it. And we'll just sit together in these meetings and we'll answer questions. Thank y'all very, very much for being here.
Before everybody leaves, in closing, I'd like to share two things. The press wasn't here, but I have two articles that I copied.